Hello and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie and I'd like to welcome you to this special edition of Deliberately Creative. I'm participating in a Snowman Collaboration that is being hosted by Mona L. And I want to share a little drawing that I came up with of a sweet little snowman in pen and ink that you can then color or do whatever you want to with. I hope that you enjoy this. And if you do, click that like button, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you leave me a comment and let me know what you like, and that you go up into the iCard for all of the other 3 people who are participating in this collaboration. All right, guys, so here we are. We've got a basically 5x7 sheet of cardstock paper. You can draw on anything. This just happens to be what I'm using. And I want to do a little snowman. And he's going to have roughly a circle for his head. There's a little rectangle, basically a rectangle here, for his scarf. But where his head goes, his scarf is going to dip. So it's kind of like a smiley on the top of that rectangle. And then there's the little arms that come out, the parts that would wrap around and like that. And his little body. Basically running off the edge of my paper. I'm not too worried about it if he runs off the edge or if he is misshapen, because he's a snowman. Snowmen can have lots of character. I'm going to put just a tiny bit of detail in on him just because it's kind of fun to do. Now he's got a floppy brimmed hat. His hat has seen better days. Sort of like that. Kind of like a bumpy twig, actually, is what it sort of looks like there. And then another sort of rectangular shape. And that's like the ribbon that's wrapped around his hat. Then the top of his hat comes up and sort of dips down. And then comes up on the front side, goes sort of like a little angle, and then dips down again. Just so it has some character. And now I want his scarf to come farther out this way, and I want his body to come like off the paper. He's a little bit slippy slidey. He is made of snow after all, and snow does not stay all the time in one place. It moves around. Now I'm just doing some little circles for his eyes and mouth, and a couple, maybe 2 here for his buttons. And we'll do a little bit of detail in on him. I want him to be a little bit fatter because I like chubby snowmen. And when I make it fatter, sometimes I have to adjust some of my other lines. That's why we're doing this in pencil to start off with. And I'm not pressing hard. I'm pressing a little bit harder than I would if I were drawing this for myself. But I'm not pressing really hard because I want to be able to erase these lines as soon as I'm done drawing them in pen. Because we're going to ink this up. And I will put a little bit of shading in on here, a few little lines here and there, but it's not going to be highly rendered. Now I want him to have an arm sticking out. And I think his arm is going to come from here, just a little bit down from his scarf. And there's going to be one little branch sticking out down here. Remember, his arm is a branch. Branches are natural creatures. They are not perfect formed arms. It's whatever little branch you found to make your snowman, to give him an arm. And then his other arm you don't see. It's off over here somewhere. Now, one of the neat things about this is that we are making something that could be used like a coloring sheet. And if it's a coloring sheet, you want to have a little bit of things that actually end up with color. So his arm is going to be holding some ornaments. It's got a little, sort of a little trapezoid type shape up here at the top, hanging off of his arm, and then an ornament. And I think he's going to have another ornament hanging off right here. And that's, again, that sort of trapezoid shape. That's for the cap that holds the ornaments. And I think that's going to be a big bauble also. So ornaments like this were first made in Germany, I believe. They were all glass blown glass, and they were meant to represent apples and things, and they did pine cones and apples and things that were in nature. And now I am going to fit a fir tree, pine tree, one of those trees, and it's actually a big tree. And it has parts of it that you don't even see. And it's got all those layers, those tiers of branches and boughs. And basically, if you can draw that sort of, let's see, what do we want to say? It's kind of like drawing grass. When you're doing clumps of grass, you're going up and down, and then up, down, and then up and down and up. Not quite as high, and down, and then up, down, up and down. And that just gives you that layered feeling. Like that. And we are going to, when we put in the pen work, we are going to put a little bit of a shadow underneath of those. And we'll put maybe a little bit of design on these balls. A little bit. Not a lot. You want to leave some room for your person who wants to color this, because I hope that you draw it and you make copies of it and you put them out with some crayons for your guests this holiday season. You know, you never know when you're going to have somebody come over who brings a kiddo or who just likes to color. You know? And it's a lot of times, especially people who don't like to talk a lot, they come to visit, but they're not really there to talk a lot. They like to listen to other people chatting. So they really appreciate actually having something to do. something for their hands to be doing and while they're listening to other people. And it's more fun if you're having people over to have these coloring sheets and crayons and things like that out than to have them sitting there playing on their telephones. Because coloring, they're actually still present. They're still there. When they're playing on their phone or chatting with their friends on their phone, they're not really there with you anymore. They're in their own little world, doing their own little thing that doesn't involve their family, even though they're sitting there with you. So I say no cell phone. And if you want to do something, you can color or draw in the same room where we are. So that way, when you start feeling comfortable, or when they start feeling comfortable, they might pipe into a conversation. Because when you're drawing or coloring and your mind is just sort of free from the expectations of being in a conversation, you can actually think of things you want to say. But then sometimes you also go very quiet. And I'm just sort of drawing in just a rough little branch. It's not a perfect branch. It's a branch that has character. It has little bumps and lumps and things sticking out in funny places. All right, now I'm going to get that circle. My ornament balls are not perfect circles. They will never be perfect circles unless I trace around a template or use a circle maker. And, I'm not too worried about that. Because they have character. And hand-blown things, hand-blown ornaments, they could actually get away with not being perfect circles because it's hand-blown. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. There we go. Then we're putting some little highlight patches in. Places where color can go. Oh, forgot to give him his features. There we go. And just draw in those circles for his little mouthpieces. There we go. And then we're going to get that tree. Let's see here. I think if I turn it this way, you can see me do that. So we're doing those cute little up and down and up, down, up, down, up and down. Down and up and up and down. But just like drawing grass, you get up and down, then you go up, and then you come down and up and down. And you just sort of work your way across. Sort of like a seismograph. You get that up and down motion of a seismograph where they're when there's those earthquakes and there's this high spikes and then there's low and then they kind of go along and then there's another high spike and then a low and then almost high again. And then we go up and down and up and down and up and down like that. And so now we're going to get this erased. We're going to get all of those pencil lines erased off so we can see what we've got. Now, I hope you're enjoying this, and if you are, I would really appreciate it if you would click the like button. And if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe so that you can find out when I have new videos go up that you may be interested in. Mondays are pretty much my Doodle Gem day, and the rest of the week I'm free to do whatever I want. So right now I'm just going in and doing a little bit of shadow underneath of that edge of those up and down jaggedy bits, just a little bit where it overlaps on the tree. I'm not doing it out here in the air because that wouldn't make sense. But here where these spots are over the tree, going in and giving it a little bit of shadow, thickening that line. And it can be a little jaggedy because pine needles are not smooth. They are not like satin. They have character. They have up and down and sticky outy bits. And you don't have to do it in every single spot or perfectly on both sides of each line. You want it to be a little bit irregular, because if it's irregular, it looks a little bit more real. Now, we're not doing a realistic. This is more of a cartoon type of a drawing. And you know, those make the most fun for coloring pages. I hope that you do enjoy this. I hope that you feel comfortable now doing a snowman. You know, make your snowman, make him or her however it makes you feel happy. And if you don't want them holding ornaments, they don't have to hold ornaments. You can have a little bird perched on the branch. You could have a bird perched on his hat. You could have a gingerbread boy instead of a snowman. I mean, there's so many things. Now, I am so happy that Mona had asked if I would participate. I really enjoy getting to do snowmen, and having an excuse to do a snowman is just so much fun. Now, I'm giving him just a few little shadowy type lines. I'm leaving his scarf sort of unadorned, so that way it can be anything a person would want. I'm doing that line right there just to give it a little bit of thickness. And just, you know, not really shadowy shadows, not deep dark shadows. A little bit of cross hatching here and there, or a little bit of hatching, but not a whole lot. But I want it to look like he's got some shape. You know, he's He's got some ins and outs and a few little spots where his snow is not perfectly smooth. There we go. You know, it's all observation of life. If you look around you, as you are becoming more aware of shape and form, as you're learning how to draw, you start noticing things that you never really noticed before. Like how a shadow falls on something that's white. How do you know that there's a shadow there? Well, because it turns a different color. White things are not really white. Snow is not white. Snow is many things, many colors. It is not white, or not white all alone. There's other colors involved. A lot of shadows in snow are blue, or yellow, or gray. Now I'm just imagining how these shadows would go, and really and truly, wherever you put a mark on it, it's going to look like there's a shadow there. It's amazing, but you know, those little random lines where if they were out in the middle of the ground, it would look like it was grass. But because it's on a snowman, it doesn't look like hair, and it doesn't look like grass. It looks like shadows and things that are making form and shape. And it doesn't look like fur, which makes me happy because I would really not want a furry snowman. And now we're going to give his little hat band a little bit of shape, little texture. That bit of his hat right there and that bit right there, I'm just going to color in dark. And there we go. Okay guys, so here we are. We made it almost to the end. I'm just finishing up on his arm and his little rocky bits for his buttons. This twig arm here, I'm just putting shadow. I just chose that the shadow is going to be underneath of this side. It's just the way I decided the shadow's falling. So I would appreciate it if you would make sure that you went and visited Mona, L, the Junkin Data Girl, and MWB Arts to check out their snowmen as part of this collaboration, because they all have some amazing and fun art or craft projects to share with you. So either click on the iCard or go down to the description box and check out what they have. Make sure and comment on their videos. Let them know that you came over from here. I would love to know if you came over from one of their videos. So As always, like, comment, subscribe, share, and go out and do something creative.